Page 91, Angels We Have Heard on High. Let's look this over. We're getting some practice in using our dotted rhythms here. And the music is slowly getting more complicated. But it doesn't matter how complicated it gets. We'll just use the same routine and we'll take things one at a time and we'll learn it, more or less. Well, it's 5 lines long with repeat signs, so it's really closer to 6 lines long. Treble and bass clef. 1 sharp in the key signature. We're in the key of G major. Make sure you can do the G major scale. I got a video on it. You've heard this lecture before. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. 4/4 time signature. We got quarter notes, half notes, whole notes, and dotted rhythms. We can handle that, I hope. Right hand first. Let's make sure we got all the stuff going on for the right hand. Then we'll try the left hand, and then we'll try them together and see what happens. You're starting here. Thumb here puts you in this position. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. And that whole note is tied to a dotted half note. And that's, so you hold that down for 7 counts. Then lift up on beat 4 there, and you get a G and a C together, a G and a D together. I know what the notes are. Give me a chance here. And that's tied for a couple measures or so. And then third measure, second line. Dotted rhythm. 1 and 2 and. Remember the dotted rhythm thingy? In this case, this is the last measure, second line. The B comes on beat 1. The dot comes on beat 2. And so the 8th note comes on the and of 2, because the dot only gets half a count. 1 and 2 and. And then you do that some more. Third line similar to what we've already had. Let's go down to the 4th line. Now in the 4th line we're going to move up 1 key. You got to rest before it, so you got time to move up. So it's 4th finger. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. Now on the third measure we're going to scratch up a little bit and use 3rd finger. We just changed hand positions. And 2 and. 1 and 2 and. We come up on the and of 2 because the dotted quarter note only gets 1.5 counts. The 8th note of the left hand will help out. Then the last 2 measures at the bottom, you got the G chord. Okay. When you see these chords, just think of it as one thing. It's a chord, a G chord. Now just play it. Try and get the notes down at the same time. I don't, but maybe you can. Left hand. You're starting here. 1, 2, 3, rest. 2, 3. Not a problem, I hope. Second line. Left hand gets melody. 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 3. The dotted rhythm again. And then your G and a D. 4th line down. Just G chord. And then a C chord. And at the end of the line. 1 and 2 and. So you're coming in on the and of 2. Because the dotted quarter note takes care of that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So put the hands together. What could possibly go wrong here? We're in this position to start just quarter notes. You're not playing the same notes now. 2. I'm going a little bit fast. You take it at your speed when you do this, and it's okay to hesitate and all that. You're just trying to get the hands to work together. So in the second line, you're here. These are together. Right hand's tied, but both come up on beat 4. It's a rest. And then third measure, it's here. Melody went to the right hand. Rest. Okay, let's go down to the 4th line. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The left hand comes up on 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 2 and 3. And 2 and 3. So the dotted rhythm split between the hands. That's fine, doesn't matter. It's just that gets 1.5 counts, and then that gets the end of 2. 1 and 2 and 3. The last few measures at the bottom. The last 3, you're here. 2, 3, 4. And that's tied. You're going to hold that down for the rest of the piece as you play this chord twice. Here. So you put the hands together and then go back through it a few dozen times or whatever it takes to get rid of any hesitation. So it's a steady beat. You can keep it as slow as you need to, it doesn't matter, but it's got to be a steady beat. Then we can think about the articulation. And here it's just the phrasing. Lift up between the phrasing, but you have to anyway for the most part because there's rests. The only time you don't is on the end of the fourth line. You finish it. There you lift up before you go to the next line. You just a little. And then when you repeat, the beginning of the fourth line you got to reverse repeat some. Okay. And the last line we got endings. So you have a repeat sign at the end of the second line. That takes you back to the reverse repeat sign. So you're going to go from here, okay? And then you play the fourth line again, and then the last line you'll play the first measure, and then skip over to the second ending, is how that works. But what I'm trying to get at is when you repeat. The first ending, you're here. I'm going to repeat. I'm going to play a chord. Just go ahead and lift up here to connect it. Now keep in mind that the right hand has to go back up because you finished the fourth line in that position. But when you repeat, you want to be in this position. So know that you've got to have your right hand go up one when you repeat. So once you're kind of comfortable with the articulation, then try the dynamics, and that applies to the melody. This first line up here is an introduction. It just sets the mood of the piece. And I think it's the right hand makes more sense to me to be the introduction. So play the right hand moderately soft, MP, mezzo piano. Whatever you think moderately soft is, and keep this left hand soft. See, in the last two measures of the first line, when I'm playing this in the left hand, I want to hear this. So don't drown it out. That's hard to do, but you need that control, so I'm asking you to keep at it. Then in the second line, we go up to MF, mezzo forte or sort of loud. That's the melody. So in this case, it's going to be the left hand for the first two measures and the right hand for the next two measures. So you're taking turns as to which hand is heavy and which hand is light. So I'm heavy and I'm light. Now I'll switch it. Switch it again. So I'm switching back and forth as to which hand is heavy and which hand is light. Then the fourth line down, most of this is right hand. And you go up to loud here. The left hand can go up to about a moderately loud or so in the middle somewhere, but keep it under the right hand. And you're staying there throughout the last two lines, or basically they're loud. And you have to find where the melody is, and you play that loud, wherever it is. The last two measures, or three measures there, the second ending. The left hand's melody, you're playing that loud. And this is sort of a moderately loud to moderately soft. Because when I'm playing these chords at the end, I want to hear that. That's melody. Yeah, now that's the dynamics. Now as far as the speed goes, I've heard this at different speeds. Andante is a casual stroll, just a jump. Very majestic. That's how they want it. The whole thing at one speed. It's a range. It's not exactly a certain speed. It's somewhere in that. Don't play it fast. I've heard it done that way, and in some arrangements it might be fine that way, but in this arrangement we want to keep it under that. Keep it a casual stroll, very majestic sounding. Yeah, it helps when you get to the fourth line, you got all these eighth notes. Yeah, it makes those a little easier to play or less difficult to play on it. So as far as picking speed goes, you got to find the hardest part of it. This part. But can you do that accurately and smoothly and all? And you take it all at the same speed. Now here again, don't forget the natural accents. We want to feel this 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Especially when you have repeated notes, like in the second line. Those three, I want to feel that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1. I'm exaggerating it so you can hear it better, but feel these natural accents as you're going through there, and it'll come out in your music. And the people listening to it will enjoy it a lot more because it just sounds more musical to do that. You're not just playing note, 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 note. Let's play this together very slowly and double check all the notes and rhythms and all. I'm not going to do any dynamics. I'm going to do both hands about the same. I will do the phrasing, and we will do the repeat, the first and second ending at the bottom. So I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 2, 3, rest. 1 and 2 and 3 and rest in. 1 and 2 and 3 and rest in. 1 and 2 rest in. 1 and 2 and rest in. And 2 and. And 2 and. And 2 and. 1 and 2 and 4 and. 1, 2, 3. Repeat. 2 and. 2 and. 2 and. 1 and 2. 4 and. Second ending. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Off.